Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video today. I have a very special message for the after eclipse energy. As many of you are feeling like you're leveling up, many of you are feeling like you're leveling up, some of you are feeling quite disturbed, some of you are feeling like there's some chaos happening inside of your system, but at the same time a part of you is awakening that is just emerging through it. I want to remind you that you are making such an incredible progress, and often you don't see that. So maybe tap yourself onto your shoulders right now and say to yourself, I am making such a great progress. Be proud of yourself because you matter so much to this world. Humanity is rising because you are rising, and it's something you should notice. It's something you should notice because it's so rewarding when we choose ourselves, our past. We choose this moment over what happened in the past. We choose aliveness over sadness and frustration. We choose coherence over disturbance, right? The whole planet is going through a shift. We also see it in nature. We see it in weather. Just yesterday we had snow, and the day before there was 28 degrees, and all around the world this kind of unexpected changes in the weather are happening, like earthquakes and all kinds of different things. So what's important is that at this point you find your stability. You find your stability so you can easily float through everything that's happening, like serve these energies. You know, there was a study scientists did because they wanted to notice how much people can actually reprogram their genes if they start to change their thoughts, their emotions, their feelings. So what they did, they've exposed a certain amount of people to 1 hour of comedy movie. So they were laughing for 1 hour. And after that, what happened? 20 new genes were activated, which started producing new, healthier proteins, which means they've started changing their bodies in a healthier way. 1 hour of laughter, my friends. So when you look around yourself, what's for you a demonstration of healing? Because you see, the world is going through a transition and all of us are shifting. Can we find reasons to laugh more? Can we find a sense to be joyful at the times when a big change is happening? You see, for many of us, it may be like something that's quite important. Because past doesn't need you anymore, right? Past doesn't need you anymore. This moment needs you. But it doesn't need you just all sad and miserable. It needs you more content. It needs you more present in yourself. Like, can you get your mind right? Can you come back in this moment and really think about the life you want to live? You see, there was another study. For 4 days, people were applying new thoughts, new emotions, and new actions, which means people were studying certain new information, which also influenced their emotional experience, and they've applied it and they've started doing something new. Like, for example, they've started practicing what inspired them. Like, for some it was painting, for some it was maybe certain sports, for some it was reading and kindness and being more kind towards others. And what happened after 4 days, people activated new neurons for learning and novel experiences, gene for cellular repair, and their body started healing themselves. They've activated this state of regeneration. Genes for oxidative stress was upregulated, so the body went back in balance. They've activated antioxidants, anti-cancer, anti-aging, anti-heart disease, anti-stroke, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial. They've experienced an immense healing, right? So think about what happens if we start living our lives. Like every single day we decide to study something that uplifts us, something that inspires us. We do something that uplifts us emotionally. Like we stop repeating what drains us. We stop doing what's toxic for us. We start eating better. What happens when we show up in the world and we become kinder and we become more uplifted and we treat others the way we want to be treated? What happens when we embody a new you? When you embody a new you, when you raise your frequency and you show up in the world like that, what happens? Your body changes, right? This is so powerful. And many of you may be feeling like after this solar eclipse, you've just left something behind, like an old story. I was just on a call with a client, and she said, you know what I've started doing? I've started organizing the chapters of my life. She has like tiny little books of the chapters, like notes from her old life, and she put it into a box, and she said, you know what, I'm done with my past. I'm done with my past, with a great sense of forgiveness. And it's so powerful when we courageously let go of the past and we decide, well, I'm done with being this old self because there's so much more I want to experience in life. And sometimes you just need to release. Sometimes you just need to feel. Sometimes you just need to be with yourself and sit down and find this greatness within you. Find grace within you. Find joy within you. Find passion within you. And if you can't, study subjects that will inspire you. You see, there's a frequency to everything. State of being is a frequency, right? And if state of being is made out of how we think, how we feel, what we do, then changing how we think, changing how we feel, changing what we are doing will change our frequency, will change our state of being. And let's say health exists as a frequency, abundance exists as a frequency. Can you raise yourself up to a state where you feel more present, where you feel more at peace? Because think about the pyramid. Just imagine a pyramid. At the top of the pyramid, there is complete present moment. Complete present moment. At the top, let's say you would climb at the top and you would feel completely present. What's in your mind when you're present? Quietness, right? Quietness in the mind. But more you go down towards the bottom, more there's loud voice in your mind, different thoughts, different, impulses. And then your body feels disturbed, right? So emotions are always the byproduct of thinking. So the trick is that you don't try to change your thoughts. You actually focus on empty space. It's maybe something new for you, but science has figured out that when people focus on empty space, their brain frequency goes into a coherent state, like a laser-like state. This is a very powerful state for intentions, very powerful state that creates effects in the field, in the quantum field. So why it is important? Well, if you, for example, you can try it out right now. If you close your eyes and find a space between your ears, in the middle of your head, between your ears, and just focus on that space. You get pulled out when you start thinking, but as soon as you focus back into that space, you stop thinking. And you can actually train yourself to become very good at this. And then you go into another space, like behind your breastbone, for example, and you find your space there. And then you focus on the space around you. It's something you may be familiar if you're doing meditations by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's been working with a HeartMate Institute when they've started researching all of that, the power of heart-brain coherence, and what really changes in us when we achieve more coherent state. And the beautiful thing is that we truly don't think ourselves into this. We don't think about beauty, we don't think about light, we don't think about love or whatever. We focus on this emptiness. We empty ourselves, right? Empty your mind, said Bruce Lee, right? And you become this empty space. That's how you remember who you are. And that's, as the saying, can you remember who you were before the world told you who you need to be? You remember you've been this pure human being. And many of you are slowly starting to remember that you are very pure. That this emptiness should be filled with wonder, with inspiring stories and thoughts, with something that will make a garden of your mind very, very beautiful, right? That's why I say to study what inspires you. You see, it's impossible to live our lives with empty minds when we are still going out into the world. It's just, too chaotic. But it's how you treat yourself most of the time that you choose what you allow to enter your space, right? And also how you're shaking off the information, the emotions that are not yours. Like if you take enough time every single day to get back into quietness and to train your body how this frequency of being present feels like. Isn't it a very healthy state? For those of you who are maybe meditating more frequently, or who are familiar maybe with the work of Dawson Church, who's also the scientist behind the researches of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work on brain photos. He wrote some very helpful books. You may notice that when you tap into your quietness and you focus into your heart, like the whole process is to slow down your breathing, focus on your heart, breathe into your heart, and then you can visualize something very pleasant, like a memory where something very loving happened, or maybe you've received a gift and you felt so happy and grateful and maybe excited or so appreciative. And then try to elevate these emotions. If you felt grateful because something very beautiful happened, can you now feel more of this gratitude? Can you expand it out of your heart so it will surround your whole body? It's like you would expand a bubble from your heart around your whole body. And feel this sense of gratitude, and then do it for at least 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, you will rewire your brain, you will rewire your heart, and you will reprogram a genetic expression inside of your cells. Your body will start producing healthier proteins, and you will boost your natural immune system. But also you will create an effect in the field. So you see, every time we expand our field of gratitude, it just happens that we experience interesting synchronicities that are just like tiny reminders that we've done something great, we've done something right. So I want to remind you, as after this solar eclipse, so many of you are going through an incredible shift. Many of you are feeling like you're rising from the ashes. Like for previous months, it felt like your life is falling apart, or you're losing a part of yourself. You were losing parts of yourself that were outdated. And now there's maybe more clarity inside of your heart, inside of your mind, for as who you want to rise, right? What is that who is the phoenix of yourself? Like, who are you as the phoenix that is rising? In a vision of how you want to show up in the world. So many of you are doing such an incredible work, and I just want to remind you to be proud of the progress you're making, even though maybe you're not seeing it. Many of you have been growing up in an environment that never reminded you of your own worth, of noticing that you matter, and because of that it may be very hard for you to see any progress you're making. Like, you may feel it's never enough. Know that in this present moment, you are all that you can be. And that is more than enough. That is everything. In this present moment, you're everything. And that's love. That's unconditional love, right? So don't try to think about it. Try to be it, feel it. And if it's hard for you, do this process. Slow down your breathing. Sit down, find a quiet space and sit down and slow down your breathing. Focus on your heart, breathe into your heart, and then try to visualize something, try to see something that will remind you of any kind of a pleasant emotion you want to feel more, and then just expand it. And do it for 10 to 15 minutes and see how will you feel after that. And it may be a very rewarding experience. Just imagine if our state of being is vibrating on a certain frequency. So in our reality can be just, objects, people and events which are on that same frequency. What would happen if daily you would start slowly ascending your frequency? Isn't it true that something new should find you eventually? And all these synchronicities that are finding you are a result of, tiny little changes you're applying daily. So may this video be just an encouragement to keep up with your work. And look at it as an experiment in the field of life. So my friends, I will leave you here. I hope you found a great value in today's video. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Till next time, much love. Hey my friend, I hope you found great value in today's message. And I want to invite you into our freshly created and opened store, AttractPassion.com, where you can find all of my art. So if you found my art inspiring, you can get a copy of it. You can also get some of my original paintings, so go and check it out. You can use the code PASSION15 and you will get 15 off on your first order. I'm also offering one-on-one coaching. So if you feel like you would like to deepen your journey a little bit and you're kinda aligned with my work, you can go and check out the link in the description of this video and book a session. So check it out, and thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community, where you have access to community chat and some exclusive content, some guided workshops, and so much more. So check it out, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you found this video very valuable, share it with a friend. Thank you so much. Let's spread some inspiration, some good energy, and see you in the next one. Much love.